Hi, this is Tamara Coleman. How are you today? Good morning, or afternoon. I have a question. I wanted to know how you make your long distance relationship work. And the reason why I was asking that question is because it was asked to me. How I make my long distance relationship work. And it was a challenge because there's a lot of people out there who is skeptical about having a person who is not tangibly in front of you, who's not physically in front of you, and saying it's never going to work, it's impossible to work. And I find out that my relationship long distance is best for me at this time because I have to expect the unexpected in a long distance relationship. So we have different hours of the day where he and I communicate, and um, due to our work schedule, it's kind of like tough on us. But since he has a full schedule, I have a full schedule. We find time to speak to one another in our absence. You know, it's not like I can go next door and knock on the door and say, "Hey, let's just get out and get a cup of coffee or some tea." No, it's not like that. It's like whenever he and I have time together, we will use the media, and we will make sure that our communication is every time we communicate is we give it our all, and we do not over communicate, so that gives us time to have another chat for later on in the day. We do not have a disconnect in our relationship because our communication is through text message, phone, FaceTime, and the time that we spent apart is extremely hard, but we focus on what God put before us. And that is what you have on your schedule. Like I said, a full day. We have a full work schedule. So what the Lord has for us on our schedule is what we have to do. But when we're done, we make time to communicate. And the focus to put God first. And then we spend time together praying and reading and fellowshipping over the phone. And that makes our bond much stronger. And we trust in everything that we do. We trust in what we do um, is laid out. Like, meaning I tell the truth, he tells the truth, and everything works well. We talk about everything. We laugh, and our when we laugh, it's like endless. We're just like two children sitting in the park, just laughing about anything. And the Word of God pushes us together and not apart. And it's good for us because we're not overdoing it. The timing is different, but it's okay. We do not look at long distance apart as if it's setting us apart. We look at it day to day, and it's a challenge because it helps us to grow better. Um, and when God is ready for us to be one, then it will be it'll be what we desire. It'll be what we need. Because right now we're a couple, but we're a couple that is miles apart, and it's working for me, and it's working for him. And then some people will say to me that the text message, phone calls, the FaceTime isn't enough to cherish. And the only thing I can say is, wow, my chat time with him, besides spending time with my family members and friends, it's our quality time together when we finally sit down. It's like you're meeting your friend over again, and you're meeting your best friend over again. So when we sit together, I know him, he knows me, but we're sitting down and it feels like we just met. And you can't take that time away. So yes, it is a cherished time. And this distance apart, we will set a time out of our busy schedule to invest in us. And that's the best thing for me. The good times, the bad times that we have over the phone. Some days, I just want to I just want to get a drive wherever he is so I can get a little closer. But I do know if I do that, it's going to take away from what the Lord has for me. The good thing about having a cell phone is one that actually works. And when it works, it works, it works. So we're able to see each other. I can see what he's wearing for the day. He can see what I'm wearing for the day. He can tell me whether my hair is looking nice or if I should change the way my lipstick is just for the day. You know how we talk. I can tell him, oh, I don't like your haircut, or maybe you should cut it down a little lower, or let it grow, your mustache, your beard, whatever you like. So whatever I like, I tell him, and it is a good thing. So we set our priorities. It's worth the challenge. We set our priorities and we sit down and we talk about everything, and it is worth the challenge. I can't wait to be with him. I can't wait to see him again face to face. And I can't wait to invest more time with him. But right now, where I am in my life, I am enjoying my freedom. It's not that I don't want him to be with me right now. It's just I have things on my plate that God has put before me. And like the Proverbs 31 woman, you have to have your priorities in order. You have to be busy. You have to have more than one set of income coming in. And you can have your full-time job, you have your children, and you might be going to school, you may have tests, exams coming up. You have to, you might have a second job coming along, and he might come at the wrong time, and it can interfere with what you're doing. And I feel that I feel like I'm at the end of all of my busy schedule. I kind of feel in my spirit that the Lord is leading me to slow down a little bit, because I kind of feel that he's on his way. And I'm excited. I mean, I've been, after my divorce, like I said before, I've dated, and it wasn't what I wanted. I stayed in the relationship because, you get used to being with someone. But when the Lord tells you to leave, you have to be obedient, because the Lord has someone else for you. And as soon as I let go of the person who I was with, immediately I met the man that I'm dating now. And it's going on 4 years. And I am just so elated. I feel that I have worked extremely hard to get someone that is there for me. I don't feel that I was cheated out of life, but just that the Lord knew when it was the right time for me to meet the person who was going to be compatible for me. Yes, praying and fasting and reading the Bible and spending quality times with friends and family, going on trips, doing everything I needed to do, go to college. I've done everything. And I stayed in a limelight. I stayed visible. There was times where I shut myself in because I had to figure out who I was, and to and fly like an eagle sometimes. Fly away from the trouble, fly away from the stress, fly away from all these people who was trying to get my phone number. Just move away. I just had to fly in the wind and say, God, I don't want to be bothered with all these people who's coming towards me. And a lot of things that the Lord had revealed to me, the men who was trying to come at me was a facade. They weren't for me. They can talk to talk, but they could never walk to walk. And I'm so glad that I didn't fall into any of those temptations, and I didn't start a new relationship while I was dating long distance, because it would have been a headache, and it would have taken too much time to remove them from my life. So I thank God. And besides that, I had 3 or more hurdles in my life that I didn't know if I would have completed if he was around, the one that I want to be with now. I started my book, which is called A Memoir of Love in Genesis, and that is about the man that I'm dating long distance. I don't know if he stayed in my life at that time. I don't know how I would have written a book about us. I mean, eventually I would have, but I don't know how it would have came out. And I'm so glad that that long distance um, took my book on a different journey. And now I have so many people calling me and asking me about it. They wanted to know about the ending. I have some people have so many questions to ask me, and I'm very glad that the Lord allowed him to just have a busy schedule, and which took him further away from me. And I'm not pushing him away, but I'm just so grateful that the Lord allowed him to be away at the time, because we both needed to grow in our own way. And this helped me. Writing this book helped me to notice who I was. And then I started my YouTube channel. I did my paparazzi, which you can see right here. I still have my bling bling on me right here, and it's still $5 each. And if you want to, you can go on to Tam's Royalty Gems, and I'll leave all the description below. And I had to heal from my surgery. Once I had fallen on my job, I had my disc herniation. I had to have back surgery on my L5S1, and that took a lot out of me. I had to retire from my job as of April 8th, 2019. I would have been on a job for 15 years, 14 or 15 years. I didn't calculate right. I was set to retire at that job, but God took me in a different path and a different journey. Like I said, you never know which way the Lord is going to take you. Um, and there's no miscommunication in our relationship. When people ask me questions about my relationship, I answer them. I answered all the questions, and it seems doubtful to some people that he's not going to come, that he's not on his way, but that's okay. The only thing I can say is stick around and see the salvation of the Lord. Do not be negative on me or about me finding love not the way you found it, but the way that the Lord planned for it to happen. And I'm very happy because I get my freedom back. I can find who I am. I can travel, I can move around, and I don't have to worry about um, you know, I don't know. Maybe my schedule would have been off. Maybe I would have had I wouldn't have had desires to write that book, or to start a YouTube channel, or even do my paparazzi. But the only thing I knew would have happened is that I had to heal from my surgery, and would have happened anyway is I would have been removed from my job due to my me now being that I was not able to perform my duties as a paraprofessional as planned. I would eventually had to have left because I'm having a lot of back pains still to this day, and I'm not able to move around as I should. So God knows what He was doing. Um, and right now I am living the life that I want to live, that I need to live at this very moment. I am so proud of the Lord, and He's allowing me to grow. So, like I said, I kind of feel in my spirit that I'm at the end of my singleness. I do believe that the Lord is going to allow him to come and I will be married. He didn't ask me, but I kind of sense that in my spirit. So I'm just waiting for the Lord, and like I said, working extremely hard with your long distance relationship. You just gotta stick there. Stick to it. Stick to it. Stay faithful to God. Stay committed. Stay busy. Be that Proverbs 31, and God will show up. God will be the one who is going to allow people to praise you, especially for those people who have doubted you. It's a challenge, but prayer is the key to your success. Don't stay disconnected from God. Um, don't share everything in your relationship with other women or other men, because they're only going to do is use it against you. So love God, love yourself, and those who are fighting for your Boaz, stay there unless the Lord reveals to you that he is not the one. Because if he's not the one, do not stay there. I've had somebody now who's going through a challenge with her long distance relationship, and we wish well for her, and God will bring it to pass. God will bring it to pass. So anyway, stay committed to God. Like, share, and subscribe to my page. And I thank you for taking time out to know me again. God bless.